Hello friends, welcome to Reading Mindset. Today, we're going to talk about 18 Minutes by Peter Bregman. Many times, we all feel that we're short on time. We keep running around all day, doing things, and yet, at the end of the day, it feels like we haven't achieved anything important. Bregman makes it clear right from the start, the problem isn't that we have less time, the problem is that we're using our time on the wrong things. We get caught up in so many activities that aren't necessary, and in the process, the important tasks get left behind. Think about it, how many times in a day do you pick up your phone to check one message, and suddenly, 30 minutes pass scrolling through Instagram? Or you sit down to reply to an email, and somehow, you end up watching a random YouTube video? Then you feel guilty that you wasted time. But the actual problem isn't that time is short, it's that our attention is going in the wrong direction. Bregman says we don't need to manage minutes, we need to manage decisions and attention. That means deciding what we're going to do and sticking to that task with full focus. If we make the right decisions about what we should do and stay focused on it, we'll have plenty of time. Look, everyone has only 24 hours in a day. No one can buy more time. But still, why do some people become so successful? Because they know what's important to them, and they focus their attention on that, cutting out everything else. For example, let's say you need to prepare for an exam, but your mind keeps wandering to Instagram or WhatsApp. You might say you're too busy and don't have time to study, but the truth is, you're not directing your attention where it's needed. You need to rethink your decisions. Is Instagram more important right now, or is the exam? And once you decide the exam is more important, stick to it by removing distractions. Here's another example. In the office, someone spends the whole day buried in emails, reacting to every notification instantly, attending every meeting. But at the end of the day, no meaningful work gets done. Why? Because they've put their attention in reactive mode. They're not deciding what to do, the world is deciding for them and notifications, messages, meetings. That's why their day passes without results. Bregman says we need to be proactive, meaning we choose what to do and focus on it. Ask yourself, what are the 3 most important things for today that will give me satisfaction? Just focus on those 3 things. Ignore the rest or delay them. We often get tangled up in small things like clearing our inbox to 0, checking social media, reading every news article, accepting every invite. These things scatter our mind. But until we ask ourselves where our energy and attention should go, we'll always feel like time is short. Here's another interesting point: multitasking. We all think multitasking lets us do more, but Bregman clearly states that multitasking is an illusion. When we try to do 2 or 3 things at once, we don't do any of them properly. Our brain jumps from one task to another, and each jump wastes a bit of energy and time. This reduces productivity and increases stress. So, what's the solution? It's simple: focus on one task at a time. Dive into that task completely, and don't look at another until it's done. You'll see your efficiency double, your mind will feel clearer, and you'll get the satisfaction of completing something. Now, the question is, how do we manage our attention? First, we need to identify our distractions, so what things keep pulling our focus away. Then, consciously remove those distractions. Like turning off notifications, putting the phone on silent mode, setting a fixed time to check emails, and taking a break from social media for a while. Alongside this, we need to understand our energy. Every person has a time in the day when their energy level is highest, some in the morning, some in the afternoon, some in the evening. Use that peak energy time for the most important tasks and shift less important tasks to low energy times. Bregman has another powerful point: do fewer things, but do them better. That means don't try to check off every task, instead, think about which tasks align with your goals. If you do just 2 tasks in a day that help your growth, they're far more valuable than 10 tasks done just to check them off. So, whenever you feel short on time, pause and think, what am I doing? Is this really important? Will it make a difference? If the answer is no, skip that task or push it later. If you like our free summary, you can subscribe to our channel, buy our membership, or support us through UPI. Now, back to the summary. Take back control of your life. Decide your choices yourself. True productivity is when we do fewer things but do the ones that truly matter. We need to make our lives intentional, where we make decisions every day based on our values and goals. Only then can we escape the trap of feeling like we don't have enough time. In the end, it's this: time will always be the same at 24 hours. But if we learn to direct our attention to the right place, those 24 hours can transform our lives. And that's the real art of living, and not in the race to do more, but in the clarity of doing the right things. So, the next time you say, "I don't have time," ask yourself, am I focusing on the right things? And if not, start choosing the right things now. That's the biggest step to becoming a better version of yourself, and it starts not with a clock but with your attention. We've all experienced starting the year with great enthusiasm and excitement. Resolutions are made, plans are prepared, and motivation is sky high. But as time passes, that enthusiasm slowly fades. We get so caught up in daily small tasks that the big goals get left behind. By the end of the year, we think, this year just slipped away too. Bregman provides a solution to this problem with a top-down framework. The top-down framework is simple. First, decide your priorities, then plan your entire year, month, week, and day based on them. This doesn't mean planning every detail in advance, but it means being clear about what the most important areas are for you. Bregman says at the start of the year, choose just 5 focus areas that are the most meaningful to you. These 5 areas will guide your energy, attention, and decision-making. Imagine if you have the clarity that this year you need to focus on these 5 things, and how much confusion would that eliminate? You'll be able to filter every offer, request, or task based on those 5 focus areas. Is this part of what I decided? If yes, do it. If not, confidently say number. Now, how do you choose these 5 focus areas? There's no fixed rule because everyone's priorities are different. For some, it could be health, career growth, family bonding, learning new skills, and financial planning. For others, it could be spiritual growth, creativity, relationships, physical fitness, and community service. The point isn't which areas are right, the point is that they're meaningful to you. When you decide on these 5 areas, they become your compass, guiding your direction. Whenever you have to do a new task, get an opportunity, or make a decision, ask yourself, is this part of any of my focus areas? If yes, move forward. If not, politely avoid it. This approach saves you from scattered effort. Otherwise, what happens? We chase every shiny thing. As someone says take this course, someone says start this side hustle, someone else says install this app. We put a little time, energy, and attention in every direction, and the result? No depth in anything, and frustration builds inside. Bregman says when we clarify our focus areas, our life becomes intentional. We don't just react, we consciously act. And that makes a huge difference. When you manage your life this way, you slowly start feeling a sense of control, like you're writing your own story. Let's say you've set your 5 focus areas: health, writing, relationships, learning, and spirituality. Now, when you plan your week, you'll ensure that every week includes some activity for each of these areas. For health, maybe you schedule gym or yoga. For writing, fix 1 hour daily. For relationships, plan family time or meeting friends. For learning, start a book or course. And for spirituality, set daily meditation or journaling. Now your week isn't random, and it's deliberately moving toward your goals. Every day has a purpose. When you live with this mindset, distractions reduce. You don't scroll social media for hours because you know where your time should go. You don't treat everything as urgent, you judge tasks based on your focus areas. And the best part? Your confidence grows because when you know clearly which direction you're heading, your mind stays stable. External things can't easily distract you. You learn to reject every shiny offer because you see your goal path clearly. Another benefit of this framework is that when you do any task, you understand its meaning. You're not just working to complete a task, you are nurturing one of your important areas through it. That's why you feel more satisfaction. Bregman says when we work without focus, we feel very busy but achieve very little. But when we adopt the top-down approach, we are less busy but do more deep, meaningful work. And that's what we want, and not the illusion of work, but real progress. Now, does this approach become rigid? Does focusing on just 5 things make life boring or limited? The answer is absolutely not. These 5 areas are like a frame. Within that frame, you can bring creativity, flexibility, and variety. Each focus area can include many activities, many experiments. But the important thing is not to become directionless. That's why Bregman suggests pausing at the start of every year, thinking, and reflecting, what are the most important things for me this year? Then write down those 5 areas. They become the foundation of your priorities. Convert them into actions for every month, week, and day. When this becomes a habit, you stop reacting to life and start designing it. You ask yourself, is this task part of the mission I set for myself? And when the answer comes, you know what to do next. This clarity reduces stress and boosts confidence. Another fun thing about this approach is that it keeps you connected to your goals. Often, what we plan at the start of the year is forgotten by April. But when you regularly review your 5 focus areas and translate them into weeks and days, they settle into your subconscious. Then, whatever you do aligns with those focus points. This way, you avoid drifting into the flow that pulls you toward every irrelevant task, urgent notification, or someone else's priority. You choose your own path and stick to it. So, if you want this year's end to be filled with satisfaction, try this top-down approach. First, think about what's important to you, and make those things your compass. Take steps in those directions every week, every day. You'll see how far your life can go in a year with clarity, purpose, and peace. That's true productivity and the real path to growth. Many times, we start the day with a lot of motivation, feeling like we'll get so much done today. All tasks will be completed on time, we'll ignore distractions, and by evening, we'll feel super productive. But as soon as the day starts, a message pops up, someone calls unexpectedly, or while doing one task, another comes to mind. Within a few hours, we stray from our main tasks. By the end of the day, we realize we were very busy, but the important tasks got left behind again. This is the problem Peter Bregman solves with the 18 minutes method. This method is extremely simple, just 18 minutes in the entire day are enough to control your whole day. The method divides the day into 3 parts, 5 minutes of planning in the morning, a 1-minute pause every hour during the day, and 5 minutes of review in the evening. It might sound very basic, but when followed consistently, its effect is life-changing. Let's start with the 5 minutes in the morning. This is the time when the day begins. Often, people jump straight into checking emails or dive into tasks without thinking. But if you use these 5 minutes consciously, your entire day can change. In the morning, first look at your calendar and decide how your 8, 10, or 12 hours will be spent on tasks that support your top priorities. Keeping your 5 focus areas in mind, think, what are the important tasks today? Ask yourself, what tasks can I do today to get closer to my goals? This question gives you clarity. Then, categorize your day's tasks, which are urgent, which are important, which can be delegated, which can be ignored. Then make a simple to-do list, but only include meaningful tasks. Don't make a long list because it can overwhelm you. Just 5 or 6 main tasks that truly make a difference. Now, let's talk about the hourly refocus during the day, which takes a total of 8 minutes. The idea is that we humans drift very quickly. While doing an important task, we open Instagram or reply to an email and end up on YouTube. Then, when 2 hours pass, We feel guilty that time was wasted. The job of the hourly refocus is to remind yourself every hour what you were doing and what you should be doing. Take a small pause every hour, just 1 minute. You can set an alarm or reminder. In that 1 minute, ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now part of my priority tasks? If yes, continue. If not, get back on track. This way, the hourly pause brings you back to your direction. You move from reactive mode to proactive mode. It's like checking the rear-view mirror while driving to ensure you're still going in the right direction. Now, the third part is the 5-minute review at the end of the day. This is when the day is almost over, and it's time for reflection. At this time, ask yourself 3 questions. What did I achieve today? Did I follow my priorities? Could I have done something differently or better? These simple questions give you a growth mindset. You are not just passing days, you are learning from each day. The benefit of the review is that you understand your mistakes. Let's say there were too many distractions during the day. During the review, you can think about how to handle them tomorrow. If an important task didn't get done, you can understand why maybe the time estimate was wrong, or an interruption came up. When you do a daily review, a pattern starts to emerge, and you begin upgrading your working style. Now, imagine, just 18 minutes, and they create the structure for your entire day. The best part is that this isn't a rigid system, it's flexible. You can do morning planning in a diary or on a notes app on your phone. For hourly pauses, use a smartwatch or phone reminder. For the evening review, journaling can be helpful, or even just 2 minutes of thinking is enough. Another hidden benefit of this system is that it teaches you self-awareness. When you ask yourself every hour, am I doing the right task? You start consciously choosing your actions. And this awareness is the biggest step toward productivity. When you use time deliberately, there's no guilt, just satisfaction. When you go to bed at night, you feel, yes, today was in my control. Our problem isn't that we have less time, it's that we don't use time in the right direction. We keep running all day but lack clarity about where we're running. The 18 minutes method removes this confusion. It builds the habit of pausing, thinking, and making the right choices. Another thing, this method also reduces multitasking. When you bring your focus back every hour, you realize that doing one task at a time is the most effective. You break free from the illusion of being busy and start doing work that truly makes an impact. In the beginning, this 18-minute system might feel a bit unnatural, especially the hourly refocus part. But as you practice it, it becomes automatic. The moment the reminder goes off, your mind will start asking, am I doing the right task? And when you keep returning to the right direction, your overall focus sharpens. Now, imagine if you started every day with clear planning, maintained focus with a small pause every hour, and did an honest review at the end of the day. In a week, your energy, clarity, and progress would improve so much. This is Bregman's 18-minute miracle. It's not a big technique, nor does it require an expensive tool, and just discipline and the desire to live your day consciously, not reactively. When we start living this way, our goals stop being just dreams, they turn into daily actions. We become the masters of our time, and this ownership, this sense of control, is true productivity. It gives satisfaction and builds the foundation for long-term success. So, start trying today. Tomorrow morning, do 5 minutes of planning, take a 1-minute pause every hour, and do a 5-minute honest review in the evening. Slowly, you'll see a new rhythm come into your life, via a rhythm that takes you closer to your best version every day. That's the magic of 18 minutes. Simple, powerful, and completely doable. Everyone's life has a lot of tasks, some urgent, some important, some just part of habit. We wake up every morning and make a long to-do list, writing 10-15 things, buy groceries, reply to emails, prepare a presentation, buy a dress for a friend's wedding, and who knows what else. Then we run around all day, but by evening, we realize most important tasks got left behind. Some random tasks got done, but the real purpose slipped away. This confusion and scattered effort is the problem Peter Bregman pulls us out of with his simple and brilliant strategy, the 6-box to-do list. The main idea of this method is to connect our yearly goals to our daily to-do list. Often, we start the year deciding big goals like losing weight, writing a book, getting a promotion, or achieving financial independence. But then we get so caught up in daily tasks that those goals get left behind. The 6-box method bridges this gap. This to-do list is easy to understand. It has 6 boxes. 5 boxes represent your 5 yearly focus areas of the most important goals you set at the start of the year, and the 6th box is for everything else, meaning the tasks that come up in life, like laundry, random phone calls, unplanned meetings, replying to social media messages, and so on. Now, imagine when you're planning your day, you have to put every task into one of these 6 boxes. Let's say one of your yearly goals is to improve health. If you write 30-minute morning walk, it goes into the first box. Another goal is learning new skills, so read 10 pages of a productivity book goes into that box. Similarly, if you're doing budget planning and your goal is financial freedom, that goes into the 3rd box. Now, the 6th box is for things not connected to your main goals but still need to be done, like dropping your mom at the market, helping a neighbor, or planning something on a WhatsApp group. These tasks might be necessary, but they don't take you closer to your long-term goals. The biggest benefit of this system is that you can clearly see where you're investing your time each day. When you make your daily to-do list and categorize every task into these 6 boxes, you instantly see how much work you are doing for your main goals and how much energy is being wasted on unrelated tasks. This clarity is very powerful. Sometimes we're busy but not productive. We run around all day but feel guilty in our minds that we didn't do anything for our real goals. The reason is that our daily actions and yearly vision aren't connected. The 6-box list creates that connection. Now, imagine you have 12 tasks to do in a day, and 8 of them go into the 6th box, tasks that aren't connected to your goals at all. That's an immediate alert that your time is going into unimportant things. You can either delegate those tasks, postpone them, or eliminate some entirely. This method isn't just an organization tool, it's also a decision-making tool. When you're about to start a new task, pause and think, which box does this task belong to? If it doesn't fit, especially in the first 5 boxes, maybe it's not worth doing. And if it has to be done, put it in the 6th box, but be aware it's not connected to your priorities. This also helps you understand which types of tasks are eating your energy. Sometimes we spend an entire afternoon just replying to emails, which mostly belong to the 6th box. But in the evening, we feel guilty that we didn't do anything for personal growth. When you see that most of your day went into the 6th box, the next time you'll consciously limit email checking, like checking only twice a day or for 30 minutes. This system brings awareness. Another great thing is that this list isn't rigid. You can make it on paper or in an app like Notion, Todoist, or OneNote. The daily habit is to put every task in its right box at the start of the day and, at the end, take a look to see if you were moving in the right direction. This method protects your priorities. Often, a random task pops up, a message comes, someone asks for a favor, or an emergency situation arises. If you keep saying yes without thinking, the 6th box slowly eats up your entire day. But when you maintain this 6-box list, you stay aware of which tasks are truly necessary and which are just part of reactive behavior. Another powerful aspect is reflection. At the end of the day, if you take a look at your list, you'll see how your day went. If the first 5 boxes are almost empty and the 6th box is overflowing, you can make a better strategy for the next day. Slowly, you start freeing your life from distractions and learn to focus. Another useful idea is to use these boxes during weekly planning. On Sunday, sit down and see which tasks for the next week connect to your 5 focus areas, then block time for them in your calendar. This makes you proactive, not just reactive. We often look for big productivity techniques like the Pomodoro, Eisenhower matrix, Kanban boards, etc. But the truth is, if our daily tasks aren't aligned with our real goals, no technique will work. The 6-box method is a very grounded, simple, and powerful way that reminds us that direction matters more than speed. It's not about how fast you're running, but whether you're running in the right direction. So, the next time you make a to-do list, don't see it as just a random list, to see it as a map of your dreams. Treat every task like it's shaping your future. When you start putting every task into a meaningful box, clarity, focus, and peace will come into your life on their own. This way, the 6-box to-do list not only makes your day better but gives your entire year a strong purpose. You don't just set goals, you start achieving them. And the best part is you don't just feel busy, you feel truly fulfilled. That's true productivity that takes you toward your best life, one step every day. We all have the experience that whenever we sit down to start an important task like a project, studying, writing, or planning, something distracts us. Sometimes it's a phone notification, sometimes the temptation of social media, sometimes a random task that suddenly comes to mind. This happens to everyone. Bregman says these distractions aren't just simple mistakes, they're often a sign of a deeper discomfort. The attention wandering outward has its root in some inner emotion like fear, anxiety, boredom, or uncertainty. If we keep fighting distractions without understanding that emotion, we'll keep losing. Imagine you have an important task, like sending a tough email. You sit down, open your laptop, start writing, but suddenly you feel like checking Instagram first, or you remember you need to clean the cupboard. This urge to escape is a signal that you want to run from the uncomfortable feeling tied to that task. Maybe you're afraid of rejection, or there's some guilt, or you just lack clarity on how to start. But from the outside, it just looks like a distraction. If you try to fight it with discipline alone, you might hold on for a few minutes, but the mind is very smart, it finds loopholes. That's why Bregman suggests instead of fighting distractions, we should try to understand them. Whenever you get distracted, ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Is this task making me uncomfortable? Am I afraid of failure? Am I feeling bored? This self-inquiry is very powerful. Let's say you're writing a report, and you keep wanting to check WhatsApp. If you pause and explore your emotions, you might see that you're scared people will judge your writing, or the structure feels unclear, confusing your brain. Once you understand that emotion, you can deal with the distraction by addressing its root cause. It's like how cutting the leaves of a plant repeatedly doesn't help if the problem is in the roots. Similarly, blocking distractions or fighting them with willpower is a temporary solution. But if you heal the root emotion, distractions reduce on their own. Another common example is boredom. When a task is very repetitive or dull, we naturally want to do something else. But if you accept that boredom and bring a bit of curiosity, like how can I make this task interesting? Or can I break it into smaller goals? You can manage the boredom without falling into the distraction trap. Bregman shares an interesting technique, keeping a distraction log. Whenever you get distracted during the day, note it down in a notebook or a notes app what distracted you, when, and what you were doing at the time. In a few days, you'll see a pattern, like every time I do X or Z task, I feel like scrolling. Now you can face that specific discomfort. This gives you clarity and awareness. Observing distractions is a mindful practice. It teaches you to befriend your thoughts and emotions. Often, we make goal lists but ignore the emotional blocks in the way of those goals. Then we think our willpower is weak, when in reality, we are not understanding our inner feelings properly. Let's say you can't stay consistent with a goal, like waking up early for a workout. You set the alarm, make a schedule, but keep hitting snooze and going back to sleep. This isn't just a habit problem, it points to a deeper resistance. Maybe you have some insecurity about your body, or you don't believe you can become fit. When you recognize this hidden emotion, you can deal with it maybe through journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or practicing self-compassion. Distractions keep coming to tell us that something is unresolved. If we keep ignoring them, they'll keep returning us, sometimes as WhatsApp, sometimes as random web searches, sometimes as sudden urges. But if we gently observe them and understand what message they're trying to give, we can turn them into growth. So, friends, that was our book summary for today. How did you like it? Please let us know in the comments, and thank you for listening to the summary until the end.